What is up, guys? We are facing the third and final scenario of the Marvel Champions Mojomania campaign. Mojo himself on expert mode with Cyclops. So let's go ahead and check the campaign setup here. You cannot choose to use module sets that are checked off in the campaign log for this scenario. So we've used every other module set against Magog and Spiral, the first two scenarios, except for Crime and Western, which we have right here. If the Longshot ally was in play at the end of the last scenario, we may review him, otherwise shuffle him into the encounter deck. He was not in play, so we shuffle him into the encounter deck here. And each player may take one copy of each card they recorded in the campaign log and put it into play under their control, then add threat to the main scheme equal to the total cost of the cards put into play this way. So against Magog, we recorded Uncanny X-Men. Against Spiral, we recorded Utopia. So 3 plus 2 is going to be 5 threat, and we can start off the scenario with these two supports in play already. And right here it says choose one module set plus one additional module set. So these two right here, and then set them aside, put the wheel genre environment in place, spinning side face up right here. And then, let's see. This will start off with 10 threat plus a 5 from these two cards. So we're going to have 15 threat to start off on the main scheme. If it hits 25, then we lose the game. And it says when review, choose one set aside encounter set at random, review a show environment, and shuffle its remaining cards into the encounter deck. So with the dice here, we're going to randomize it and pick one. If we get a 1, 2, or 3, we're going to do Crime. If we get a 4, 5, or 6, we're going to do Wow Wow Mojo, the Western one. And we got a 5. So that means we're going to do Wow Wow Mojo, Western. So this show environment comes into play. The constant effect here is each enemy attack gains overkill, and when a character takes damage, increase that damage by 1. And we shuffle these cards into the encounter deck here. All right. And then the main scheme says force interrupt whenever a character flips or leaves play. Move all threat from that character to this scheme. Let's set this up aside, and we also set the crime module set aside, and I believe it comes into play with the wheel genres after Mojo decks out. And then on the expert campaign only, set each player's hit points to their remaining hit point value recorded in the campaign log for a previous scenario, which we had 10 against Spiral, so we're just going to keep that there. And then we can deal himself one face down counter card to heal their identity to his full hit points, which we don't need to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. We got Mojo set up. Let's see. The force response on the wheel after the encounter deck resets. If there's no set aside module sets, then the players lose. Otherwise, flip this card. So that only happen after he decks out. His one review is to place 2 threat on each friendly character. So Cyclops gets 2 threat here. As a force response, only for hero form, after your turn ends, discard top 4 cards of the encounter deck, place 1 threat on your hero for each card discard this way. That does not belong to the Mojo set. So it's only if we end our turn in hero form. Let's go ahead and shuffle up our player deck here. And then we're gonna draw up to our hand size of 6 and start off our mulligans. And we have these two awesome supports to start the game off. Okay, so let's draw up here to 6. So I think we have a really good start already with the Utopia and Uncanny X-Men. Oof, except we lost 2 priority targets, which I do like. I like the Meditation and Polaris. Let's mulligan this card. Actually, we could keep Rapid Response. Let's mulligan discard these 3 cards and then draw 3 more. Okay. All right, let's see here. So we do not have the X-Men trait in our alter ego form. We only have it in our hero form. So if I meditate into Polaris right now, which is alter ego action, we can't give it to ourselves because we don't have the honorary X-Men. I don't want to grab more tactic upgrades because we're already running low. We have this plus 2 in the discard, so we only have 3 more left in the deck. Do we play? Let's see. I think we just flip over. I want to get Polaris for sure. And then, okay, we play Polaris. Oh, I should have read this first. So each of your X-Men allies gets plus 1 hit points. That's a constant effect. If each of your characters has the X-Men trait, each of your X-Men allies costs 1 fewer resources to play. So this only if we're in hero form. With Utopia, it says if each of your allies has the X-Men trait, increase your ally limit by 1. After an X-Men ally enters play, we need exhaust Utopia to write up an X-Men character. So this will work even if we don't have the X-Men trait, because as long as the allies have it, then we're okay. But this one, to get the cost reduction, we need to have the X-Men trait. So I think we're going to flip over here. And then, let's see, what if we play Pixie, get her back, play Polaris, and we still need 1 more resource for the visor. I think, okay. So we'll use our constant training. Search your deck for a tactic upgrade and add it to your hand. Let's get a practice defense to our hand here. And we're going to shuffle up our deck. Okay. Then we're going to flip over here to hero form. And when that happens, with the force interrupt in the main scheme, when a character flips or leaves play, move auto threat from that character to the scheme. Okay, so now we have the X-Men trait in our hero form. So let's go ahead and use this as a resource so we can play Pixie. She's 1 cost because of the Uncanny X-Men, reducing your cost by 1 because everyone has the X-Men trait. After you play Pixie from your hand, add an X-Men ally from discard pile to your hand. Let's get Polaris back to our hand here. We're going to have Cyclops explore for 2 from the main scheme. Drop this down to 15. And then we're going to use a 2 resources right here. So we play Polaris, who's only 2 costs, thanks to the Uncanny X-Men. Whenever she enters play, give an X-Men character a tough stats card. Let's give Cyclops toughness because we do have the X-Men trait here. Then we can also exhaust Utopia whenever X-Men ally enters play to write up another X-Men character, Cyclops. And then do we get the Rapid Response or our Visor? I think I like the Rapid Response here. So let's use 2 resources here so we can play Rapid Response. Then we're going to have Cyclops explore for 2 from the main scheme. Drop this from 15 down to 13. And we're going to have Pixie Thor for 1. I'll drop this from 13 down to 12. And then she would take a consequential damage. And then with the show environment for Western here, it says force interrupt when a character takes damage, increase that damage by 1. So I believe that applies to consequential damage as well. So instead of taking just 1 consequential damage for Thor, she takes an additional 1, so 2. And she has 1 hit point left because she has 3 hit points thanks to the Uncanny X-Men. Polaris will swing for 2 at Mojo, but it does 3 because of this, increasing all instances of damage by 1. So Mojo takes 3, bringing her from 18 down to 15. And Polaris will take 1 consequential plus 1 with this, so 2. And then, let's see. And then that's going to end our turn. So let's ready back up. And we're going to draw back up to our hand size of 5 in hero form. Okay. And then Mojo has a force response. After your turn ends in hero form, discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. And then it says to place 1 threat on your hero for each card discards with that does not belong to the Mojo encounter set. So we have 2 Mojo cards, 2 Western cards. So 2 threat goes on Cyclops because of the 2 non-Mojo cards. Okay, so now it is Mojo's turn. He's going to add 1 to the main scheme. It goes from 12 up to 13. He's going to attack us with a base of 1 plus a boost card here. Let's take because we have a tough stats card. So the boost here is 3. 4 damage knocks off our tough stats card. Then Mojo will deal us 1 face down encounter card, which is gang up. The villain each minute engaged with you will attack. So Mojo's going to attack us again. He has overkill because of the Western set. So let's just defend here for 2. And then he's hitting with a base of 1 plus a boost here of 2. So 3 damage. So we take 1 damage because we're defending for 2. But this will increase the instance by 1. So we actually take 2 damage. That brings us from 10 down to 8. And that will end Mojo's turn. And it's going to be back to our turn. Okay. So I like Beast here. We get Beast for a double. We can play Dazzler as well. The only thing with that is that we're losing all of our tactic upgrades, but we have Tactical Brilliance, so I think it's fine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 1 more tactic upgrade, which I need to actually dig out with our constant training this turn. Okay, so we need to count on Tactical Brilliance is coming back, or Phoenix. Okay, so Beast right here. Wait a minute. Oh, I can't play. Yeah, if I flip down to Alter, Dazzler is no longer going to be the cost that I need to be at, because she's going to be 4 costs because not all of our characters have the X-Men trait. So actually, that won't work out. So I think we play Dazzler here in hero form. And then I think that's it, actually. So we can only play... Yeah, we need the Honorary X-Men to do anything else. And I want Dazzler to confuse Mojo. And I think we save Tactical Brilliance then. So let's use 3 resources right here. So we can play Dazzler, who's only 3 costs, thanks to the Uncanny X-Men, because we are X-Men in our hero form here. When Dazzler enters play, confuse an enemy. Let's confuse Mojo. And then whenever we play an X-Men ally, we can exhaust Utopia to write up another X-Men character, Cyclops. And then we are going to go ahead and flip down into Alter Ego. All the threat on our character goes to the main scheme. So the main scheme has 15 now. Then we're going to exhaust to recover by 3. That'll bring us from 8 back up to 10. And then we're going to, let's see, it's at 15. Even if schemes were okay. So let's have Dazzler swing for 2 at Mojo, but it does 3 because of this. That'll bring it from 15 down to 12. And then she would take 2 consequential damage because of the Western set. And then that's going to end our turn. Let's ready back up. We're going to draw back up to our hand size of 6, keeping the Taco Brilliance in our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So it is Mojo's turn. He's going to add 1 to the main. And we don't do his force response when our turn ends because we're not in hero form. So we don't have to do that. And then he's going to scheme on us because we're an alter ego, but he is confused. Then he's going to deal us a phase out encounter card, which is caught off guard, discard an upgrade or support you control. I think, do we get rid of, I like the rapid response here a lot actually. Yeah, let's just get rid of the rapid response. I think that's a safer bet because we can get it back anyways. Okay, and then it's going to end Mojo's turn. I think that's it. Yeah, okay, so we want to, then we want to play Psylocke and then blindfold here. Do we meditate for her and keep the Taco Brilliance? Yeah, then we do want to hold on to that. So let's go ahead and play meditation. Alter ego action, exhaust your alter ego. Play a card from here, reducing its cost by 3. So Psylocke's only 1 cost. This would be 1 resource to play her. And then she's 4 costs because Uncanny X-Men's effect to reduce the cost of allies is not in effect, even though the +1 hit point one is. So that will resolve meditation. Psylocke is in play now. Then Psylocke comes in here with 2 psionic counters. We're gonna have Psylocke attack Mojo. She just interrupt, so before the attack goes off, we can remove a psionic counter, do 1 damage to the enemy, and then confuse it. So Mojo is confused, and the 1 damage gets increased by 1 because it's not just from attacks, it's all instances of damage. So 2 damage on Mojo, that'll bring from 12 down to 10. Psylocke's attack will go through for 1, but does 2 because of the Western, so 10 down to 8. And then she would take 2 consequential damage because of the Western. Okay. And then, let's see, I think, okay, we're going to have Pixie swing for 2 on Mojo. It does 3 because of Western. That'll bring it from 8 down to 5. She would take consequential damage, get knocked out. And then, do we want to just blindfold here and stay in altar for another turn? Then we don't need the Taco Brilliance. I think I'd rather do that. No, but then we flip over, we can get our... The thing is, if we play blindfold and he does this thing, it does not matter. I think I'd rather get blindfold and actually look at the encounter deck and have it affect, because this would discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. So everything that blindfold looks at won't matter if we flip over in our turn hero form. So we're going to stay in alter ego. This would be 3 resources to play blindfold, which is 3 costs because this cost reduction does not apply. When she enters play, we can look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck, discard 1, and put the rest back in the same order. So top 5 cards here. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, we can discard 1. So it's just 1 encounter card, which is going to be, we could get this one. Spend 2 different resources. Take 1 damage for each threat on your identity. If you take less than 2 damage, this way again, surge. We don't have any threat, so that would surge. So we get the assault. It'll surge into a card shark. After he attacks you, he has an effect. Then we take that. So let's discard the director's direction. Actually, wait a minute. If he gets this as an encounter card, we just have him scheme. He'll get the assault as a boost. Yeah, and then we'll know exactly what happens. So he'll be scheming for 3, which is fine. Yeah, actually, so let's discard this assault at the bottom here and put these cards back on top in the same order. Okay, and then we can stay in hero form. I mean, in alter ego. After an X-Men ally enters play, we can exhaust it to write up an X-Men character. I guess we just do Psylocke. I don't think we're going to have her activate again, though. Let's go ahead. See, yeah, because she takes consequences, she dies, even with Uncanny X-Men. So blindfold Thors for 2 for the main scheme. Let's drop this down. She's going to take 2 consequential damage because of Western. We're going to have, let's have Polaris swing for 2 at Mojo. It does 1 additional 1, so 3. That'll bring from 5 down to 2. She would take 2 consequential damage, get knocked out. And then that is going to end our turn. Yeah, let's ready back up. Draw back up to our hand size of 6 here in alter ego. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then it is Mojo's turn. He's going to add 1 to the main. It goes from 10 up to 15. And then this thing doesn't trigger because we're still in alter ego here. So we don't have to do anything with that. Okay. Then he's going to scheme on us because we're in alter ego. He's confused. Doesn't activate. Then we get a face down encounter card, which is Director's Directions. When review, choose one. We're going to pick the one to have Mojo's scheme. So scheme with a base of 3. This would be his boost card, 0. So he's only scheming for 3. And the main scheme goes up to 18. And then that will end Mojo's turn, and it is back to us. Okay, let's see here. If we play Full Blast, play this. Ricochet Beam, Full Blast, or Thingy. Let's use Concentrating. Search your deck for a tactic upgrade, add to your hand. Is it the 0? Oh no, it's Exploit Weakness. Darn, I think we're short on a resource. So we're gonna add Exploit Weakness to our hand. Is there any way for us to get... I don't think there is. Shuffle up our deck. I think we are short on 1 resource here to play, because this tactic upgrade costs 1. And we need a resource to play our thing. Yeah, there's no way to get extra resources here. Darn, so I think we have to pick what we want to do. Do we want the Full Blast, or do we want Ricochet Beam? Ricochet Beam could possibly do 10 for 2 cost. Full Blast, I think we actually go for the Ricochet Beam here, because this was to do 10. Our thing does 5, so that's 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I think we have the kill shot if we don't do Full Blast. So let's try it. So we're gonna flip over here to Hero Form. We're going to let's use the build support here. Actually, first we're gonna have Cyclops swing at Mojo. So we're gonna do 1 damage on him. That'll bring him from 2 down to 0 because it does additional 1 because of Wawa Mojo. That would defeat Mojo here. Oh, I should have done that with the allies. That's fine. So when reviewed, place 3 threat on each friendly character. So 3 on Psylocke, 3 on Blindfold, 3 on Dazzler, and 3 on Cyclops. And then it says, let's see, 25 hit points, and nothing else happens, I think. Okay, so we did that. Let me see, what's the threat here? 18. We can have it go to 24 and still be alive. Yeah, Blindfold's not going to activate. Everyone else should be fine. Okay, so we are going to, let's have Psylocke attack Mojo. So first we're wait. Before we do that, we got to play Exploit Weakness. So let's use this as a resource to play Exploit Weakness. Attached to an enemy, we're going to attach this to Mojo. This will increase the amount of damage he takes from each attack by 1, and now he has a tactic upgrade on him. Blindfold's or Psylocke's going to attack him, so her interrupt, remove a silent encounter, do 1 damage to enemy. That's not an attack, so the Exploit Weakness will not add damage to that, but this one will, because this is for all instances of damage. So 2 damage to him with Psylocke's effect. That'll bring Mojo from 25 down to 23, and it confuse him. Then Psylocke's attack of 1 will go through. This will increase the damage by 1. This increases by another 1, so 3 damage. That'll bring from 23 down to 20. And then Psylocke will take 2 consequent damage, get knocked out. When she leaves play, all the threat on her goes on the main scheme here. So the main scheme is looking scary here with 21 threat. And then Psylocke leaves play. Okay. Then, let's see. What is the safest way for us to do this? If we do 10, you can get Forge back. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this as 1 resource so we can play Forge. After Forge enters play, search your deck and discard out for X-Men or X-Force support, add to your hand. So we're gonna get the X-Jet to our hand from our deck, and Forge is only 1 cost thanks to the Uncanny X-Men here, because all of our characters have the X-Men trait, so it reduces the cost of everyone by 1. Okay, and we shuffle up our deck. All right, and then after we play Forge, we're gonna exhaust Utopia to rev another X-Men character, Cyclops. Cyclops is gonna swing here for 1 at Mojo, Since the attack does one additional one, this will add another one, so it does 3 damage. That'll bring it from 20 down to 17. Then we're going to have Forge swing for 1 at Mojo. An additional one, another one there, so 3 damage. That'll bring it from 17 down to 14. And then Forge will take 1 consequential damage, but he takes an additional one because of the Western's effect, so he takes 2 damage. Okay. Then we're going to use our Optic Blast ability. Spend 1 resource on any type. Let's use our Full Blast here as a resource. So it can do 3 damage to enemy with the upgrade attached, and this is an attack. So 3 damage on Mojo. The exploit weakness will increase by 1 because it's attack. This will increase it by another 1. So it'll actually do 5 damage to Mojo with our Optic Blast here. That'll bring it from 14 down to 9. Then we're going to use 2 resources right here, so we can play a Ricochet Beam. Hero action attack, do 3 damage to enemy with, and then do 3 damage to enemy with an upgrade attached. So 2 instances of damage. They're actually going to do 5 and 5 because this will increase each instance by 1, each attack instance. This increases each instance at all by 1. So it's going to be 5 and 5. That'll bring Mojo from 9 down to 4, and then 4 down to 0. And then we still had Dazzler who could have hit for 4 as well. And yeah, that is Mojo on expert mode. And I think we have just finished off the Mojomania campaign here. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's check the booklet here. It just says the player wins the campaign. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short little mini campaign, and I'll see you guys in the next one.